Am I the meanest?
Show enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Show enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this time?
Show enough.
Oh, show enough. You know, it's Tim. It's New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Want to talk about those Seattle Seahawks. Want to talk about the lack thereof deep passing game of the New York Football Giants and the issues Daniel Jones has throwing the ball or matriculating the ball more than 15 yards down the field. I laugh because James Williams, my brother, love him like a brother. We're talking last night and he's like, if I was just running an offense that was 10 yards deep and did nothing else in the passing game, I'd probably take Daniel Jones. If I decided to throw the ball over 10 yards, I would take any other quarterback, including someone from Pop Warner. We got to go over the injury report real quick before this for the Seattle game. We're going to have more of an update on the injury report later, probably on Friday. Seattle, who's gone a short week, is a little bit banged up. Byron Murphy was he did not participate last night. What's his name? Dodson, the linebacker, didn't participate the other day. Jonathan Hankins, who's still, yes, in football, did not participate as well. And one of their other linebackers didn't as well. Julian Love, who's got a thigh contusion, was limited in practice. There was a bunch of limited practices on Wednesday, but that's going to change a little bit. We have our old buddy,
King of the almost sack.
limited in practice as well with a rib injury. Other things to look at who were full practices were DJ Metcalf and Kenneth Walker III. Let's see, Metcalf with a hand, Kenneth Walker with the oblique. I mean, they're a little banged up, but they got a lot of full and limited participants. New York Giants on the other side. Adoree Jackson did not practice with the calf injuries last week. Malik Nabers is still in the concussion protocol. That's something to watch. And we have Mr. Phillips, who's also out with a calf. And you have Devin Singletary, who was a surprise add to the list with the groin injury, which he received against Dallas. Singletary also came out the other day and said that if this was not a 10-day week, he would not be playing on Sunday. Brian Burns, what about Brian Burns? Has a groin injury. He was limited in practice. Wando Robinson with the heel was limited in practice. And Matthew Adams, the outside linebacker, quasi-safety, I like to say, had a quad injury, but he was a full practice. Oh, you can be sleepless in Seattle. You can be everything else, but it is the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, I think, they got thumped on Monday night. But I do think they're a much better team than the Giants. I think that if you take a look at the way they're constructed and the way they're built, this should be a win. Geno Smith is actually having a pretty good season for 1,182 yards, completing 72% of his passes. Only has 4 touchdowns against 4 interceptions. Has been sacked 11 times. Kenneth Walker and they got another running back too. More of a bruiser, Bonnet. I don't remember the kid's name, but I know him and Walker are leading the team in rushing. Of course, you have the venerable DJ Metcalf, who is going to should scare the bejesus out of the New York Giants. Same with Tyler Lockett. And they got that other guy too that's really good. That what's his name? Jackson Smith, and I can't remember his last name. So the Giants secondary better strap it up, because I think you're going to see Geno try to take his shots deep.
That's what she said. Against
this Giant defense, against this banged up Giant secondary and inexperienced Giant secondary as well. It's interesting because we look at the Giants offense and we look at, and I've said it before, the Giants offense just seems to be stuck in neutral. Even with using the 6th overall pick to get Malik Nabers, it's one of those things that the Giants offense itself it sputters. It sputters outside of Nabers. It sputters outside of the short pass to Wando Robinson, but it's just sputtering. Malik Nabers is only averaging 11 yards a catch. You think he would be averaging much more of that. You would think his yak would be out of this world, but it really hasn't been. And a lot of that is the positioning of the ball thrown to him by Daniel Jones. He has been targeted 52 times already. We've talked about this ad nauseum. His longest completion is only 39%. He's only 39%. That's kind of crazy. That's crazy to me that's all it is. I mean, you would think with a guy with all the speed, you think with a guy with all this talent, you think there was a guy with all these touches, that he would be just stellar at gaining that momentum, getting that breaking free of the defenders. But again, he's not being in position to do these things. And we've talked about this, ad nauseum. You take a look at his yards after, you take a look at his yak. What's his yak? His yak is only 4.5 yards. 4.5 yards of reception. That's it. You want to talk about his yards before the catch per reception. This is an interesting stat. He is catching the ball. Malik Nabers, our deep threat, our big man, is only catching the ball 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage. There's something very wrong here with that. Think about that. His yak is only 4.5, and he's only catching the ball 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage. What could be the issue here? What could be the problem? I've been trying to think about it. Is it the play calling? Is it the fact that he's not running deep enough routes? Is it the problem that his quarterback?
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
It's time, Daniel. And it's year 6. It's fucking year 6. It's more than Ben time. Saddle up, cowboy. You got to start throwing deep, and you got to start throwing deep with accuracy. Mike Lee sent me a stat that kind of set me off. So you can blame Mike Lee. DJ's deep ball passes, which are over 20 yards, for his career, he is 59 for out of 173 for around 35%. Since 2022, he is only 5 of 26 for roughly 19%. Since 2022, passes over 20 yards. He is 5 for 26. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it for the people in the cheap seats. He is 5 for 26 for roughly 19 yards. But then he comes out yesterday and says, I'm not concerned about the deep ball throws. I love when people, like I said, back in his big season in 2022. Yeah, the 7th best deep ball pass in the league. Yet he was 7 for 13. And his 2 touchdowns were broken plays by Darius Slayton that took short passes and busted plays open for 70 yards. So outside of his rookie season, and honestly, I think as the mind wanders, as we get further away, we think we wax poetically about that rookie season in reference to his deep ball pass. And his deep ball pass was better, but not great. You could say maybe he's lost velocity due to the neck injury. You could say that he's lost velocity due to the knee injury, but I don't buy it because I think it's been this way for a while now. This isn't something new. We go out and get a Porsche, but the problem is we still have a Pinto engine, 1976 Pinto engine in that Porsche. And I've said this before, and I'm going to keep screaming it to the rooftops. Daniel Jones is going to get Malik Nabers killed.
Quarterback sucks, man.
Thanks, man.
Don't get me killed. It's throwing high and across the middle.
Even Rod Tidwell knows this. Even Rod Tidwell gets this. That Daniel Jones is going to get Nabers killed. You throw high and across the middle. You keep putting them in these by-carry situations. You keep the lack of ball placement at a premium. You open him up to injury. You make him make a diving catch, tiptoeing out of bounds on a 4th and 6 when Devin Singletary was wide open. Why? We got no fucking clue. Daniel Jones is not only the coach killer, he is the skilled position player killer. You can ask multitudes of guys because they've all ended their careers with Daniel Jones as their quarterback. Golden Tate. Smooth sounds of Kenny G. Hell, Sterling Shepard at times, who hadn't had a great game over in Tampa. You also have to take a look at Evan Ingram. Saquon Barkley has an all-world rookie season with Eli Manning under center. That second year, Daniel Jones throws him in a bad situation and he hurts his ankle. He doesn't put him in the correct positions to use him like Eli Manning did. And then we turn around and we send him to Philadelphia and he's only leading the league in rushing and touchdowns. There's something very wrong here. I keep saying it over and over again, man. He's just not a high caliber NFL quarterback. He'll have his moments. He'll have his games. But at the end of the day, he's just not going to be able to do it because of the fact that he cannot make the plays. You went out and you got him his weapon. He's only throwing the ball to the weapon 6.6 yards off the line of scrimmage, and 4.4 yards is his yak, which means you're not putting him in a position to run after the catch.
Did you say?
I didn't stutter. I said, pop your titty out his mouth and stop babying him.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. One more time. Stop it. Let the peacock fly. Let him loose. You may not get the pass downfield, but you need to soften up the defenses. You need to find a way to create lanes for your running back. Whoever it is, and it better not fucking be Eric Gray if Singletary can't go, because I wouldn't be able to stand that. Like I said, we've said it how many times on this channel?
You can't keep me cooped up in here, okay? I am a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
You got to let him fly, but even if he fails, it still loosens up the defense. He always, and I love when people are like, well, he's just missing. He's missing short. He's not missing long. He's missing short, and he has been missing short for years. Ask Darius Slayton, who would love a trade to Kansas City. Oh, just fucking put in Drew Lock already, please, for the love of God. That's all I'm going to say. Might do a live stream tonight, Thursday. I haven't decided yet, but as always, like, subscribe, do all those fun things because I don't know why. It just makes sense. I don't know. Thank God the Knicks are starting. Knicks Unleashed coming up on Monday, first episode of the podcast. Make sure you stay tuned for that. It'll be right here on this channel and every place you can find podcasts. And again, this is Tim, this is New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC, and I'm out of here.